What's up, guys? Coming at you with an update video. We haven't done one of these in a while, and we haven't posted on this channel in a while either. So if you haven't really been in the loop, we've been posting on the Predator Poachers channel, which the link to that's in the pinned comment, so go check that out. But yeah, we got some cases to talk about here. Of course, all the updates are covered on our locals, which you can also join in the pinned comment, but we like to pick out a few of them, go over them every couple of months, because I know a lot of y'all wonder, hey, what happens to these guys when the cuffs go on? What happens when the cuffs don't go on? But you know what? It's varying results each time. You know, it's not just because the cuffs go on doesn't mean that the DA is going to prosecute. And just because the cuffs don't go on doesn't mean they get a decades-long prison sentence. So, yeah, we're going to go over a few cases here, and we'll get right into it. All right, guys. So some of y'all might know some of these cases take some time to finish. You know, it's not just a few week-long process. Some could take years. So we're going to go over a offender we caught in Tennessee, which you can go see on the NVCAP channel. It's also the pinned comment. Dennis Gilliam. He was in a group that we believed he was doing some illegal stuff in, and we approached him about it, and the cops ended up seizing all of his devices. They found thousands of images of child on there, and he was dumb enough to take it to trial in June of this year, and he ended up getting 64 years in prison, and he should have gotten that the first time when he was a 6-year-old, but the justice system gives a lot of second, third, and even 10th chances to these types of people. So yeah, I'm glad he's put away for life now. These 64 years that Tennessee gave him are day for day, so it's not a percentage that he has to serve. He has to serve all 64 years, and with his age being in his 60s, you can pretty much consider that a life sentence. So big shout out to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office in Tennessee for taking care of the job and doing a great job, and shout out to the judge for giving him a very good sentence. That's going to let him harm no more children for the rest of his pathetic life. All right, guys, now we have another offender we want to give an update on. So we caught Ricky Horton in Virginia Beach in September of 2024. It was such a good catch. He came at midnight to go meet who he thought was an 11-year-old girl. And his first excuse is that he was just dumpster diving at some apartment 30 minutes away from his house. But yeah, we approached him. He admitted what he wanted to do, said he had tons of images on a computer at home. And Virginia Beach PD, it was a great catch because they crept up behind him. They listened to him make, those types of admissions saying, yeah, I got
on there and maybe identify some of these kids.
As soon as I get back home, I'm taking a hammer to it.
So basically, kids' videos are on your laptop that you might need to get rid of, right?
Yeah, I'm busting it up.
Okay, how many kids' videos do you think are on your laptop?
None.
Well,
None. I mean, I guess what somebody's told me, once it goes into it,
right,
you can never get rid of it.
Right. So how many do you think we have to get rid of? Because I know how to get rid of it.
Yeah, I do too. I take a maul to it, bust it up.
But basically, if the wrong person was to look at your computer, you might be in some trouble. Okay. But if they were to get into it, we might have some trouble, right? So we got to get through that, right?
No, because I'm going to bust it up when I get to the house.
Okay. Okay.
And throw it in the fire pit.
Okay. Well, that tells me there's probably some child out there that we got to get rid of. Would I be wrong about that?
No.
Okay, there we go.
Because if it goes into it, it's always in that memory in there.
But
you can't.
Yeah.
I don't know how
but do you see how a offender having child on his laptop could be like maybe a problem?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not gonna. Okay. So you're not gonna. This is your last time meeting an underage kid for, right? Okay. You're not gonna come meet little 11-year-old man.
No.
Okay. Why did you send Emily pics?
I'm off about this week. Yeah, that was it. All right. For now, you're just gonna be changed.
I need you to...
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
to delete this off my computer. I'm going to smash a hammer to it, and all this type of stuff. And they instantly cuffed him, and they ended up raiding his house that night, arresting him, and he got charged with tons of felonies. And I forgot even the name of all the felonies. They were just like the chat logs, what was on his devices, all that type of stuff. And he ended up getting 56 years in prison. He ended up getting 104 years, but all was suspended except for 56 years. And he's also in his 60s too. He has to do 85% of that 56 years. That's how Virginia is with truth in sentencing laws. And yeah, there's no parole. He's not eligible for parole. You just have to do a percentage of your sentence in Virginia. So he's doing 85% of 56 years. And yeah, he's never going to see the light of day again. But he was unfortunately a multi-time offender. And I'm glad they finally got it right this time and sentenced him to what he deserved. So that's another man who, because of the hard work of our decoys on our team, is no longer able to harm children ever again. All right, guys, so our third, but not final one that we're going to do on this update video, James McRander in Jacksonville, Illinois, that's posted right here on the PP Southeast Texas channel. He admitted to doing evil things to a direct relative of his, I guess a stepkid of his, and he admitted it to us in PP, Illinois, and you can, of course, check out PP Illinois' channel in the pinned comment as well. Admitted to some pretty graphic details of the abuse he put his stepson through, and it's all on you. We would have just had what said and just not even talked to you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I just want to make sure the story matches up, because obviously, you know, he's a very honest kid. He's a very sweet. He's a very honest, sweet kid, and he's not a liar. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you are either. I just think it's set pictures, solicited a meetup with him and his stepson, and him for next weekend. But obviously, we didn't want to approach him with his stepson around. We knew he wouldn't be home today. And he was arrested that same day, which usually with the child cases, they don't take only a day to arrest him. But you know, we had his confession on camera. He ended up confessing to the detective as well about what he did to his stepson. He was arrested that day on aggravated predatory assault of a child in Illinois, and he ended up taking a plea deal pretty recently for 18 years in prison. He's also going to have to do 85% of that because it is considered a violent crime in Illinois. I wish the sentence could have been longer. You know, 18 years is not too shabby, but unfortunately, McRander is probably going to see the light of day again, albeit it's going to be in 2 decades, but yeah, we'll hopefully be ready to catch him in 2 decades from now when he's back out, and we'll make sure he never harms a kid ever again. But yeah, every time they are actively doing something to their kids, these caches mean a lot to us because our whole deal is saving kids. So yeah, this one meant a lot because if it wasn't for the decoys finding him and us stepping in and the cops doing a great job, this guy could have caused more abuse literally that same day or the next day. So we're glad we helped put a stop to it. It's a really good feeling to have, and I hope everybody in that family is healing up okay. All right, guys. This next one, this is going to be the final update of this video. Lewis Stafford in Texarkana, Texas. You know, I said earlier in the video that these cases take usually over a year to years to resolve. This was probably the quickest conviction we've ever had, ever. So we caught him in late August of this year, and by September, he had already agreed to a 30-year plea deal. Texarkana, Texas, big shout out to the PD there, big shout out to Bowie County Prosecutor's Office, or District Attorney's Office, I should say. Great freaking job nailing him, getting him away from kids for a very long time. So Lewis Stafford was a very evil one. His cache is on locals. We haven't released it on YouTube yet, so if you want to go join our locals, support us getting all these long sentences, go check his cache out on there. It's linked in the pinned comment. Okay, I'm not saying that you're. I mean, obviously the biggest concern is you're obviously not that. You would never be that. I wouldn't still be here talking to you if it was that. Okay, but this is not the first time at 53, especially with suppressed memories, with kind of in the past viewing, you know, getting off to some child. This is not the first time. Okay, so I am going to bring up some of the incidents in here. I'm not going to read the chats. I don't want to embarrass you, but of course there was a time where, with all the hundreds of times you changed diapers, of course you got carried away one time. It's obvious. I don't know what the law is with that in Texas yet, but he said it was 2 naked 12-year-olds that are on his phone that would be AI generated. And he also mentioned he did deny his granddaughter, but he did admit to his infant cousin when he was 22. I don't know what the statute of limitations are in Tennessee, but he named Lewis Stafford admitted to a 2-year-old relative of his. Unfortunately, this happened over 30 years ago in Tennessee, so Texarkana couldn't really do too much about it. But based on him saying that, admitting to that, the plea deal they offered him for what they could charge him for, which was child and solicitation of a minor, they gave him a 30-year plea deal for that, and they definitely factored in the fact that he committed other crimes outside of what he was charged for. So they didn't really give him too good of a plea deal for the ones he was charged for. But yeah, I was told by a prosecutor that, I mean, this guy, the rabbit hole goes deep with him, that Lewis agreed to the maximum penalty for solicitation of a minor, which is 20 years, and the maximum penalty for the lowest level of a child charge in Texas, which is 10 years. So the way it works in Texas is if you have anything under 50 images, it's 2 to 10 years in prison. Anything from 50 to 500, it's 2 to 20 years in prison. Anything over 500 images, it's 5 to life. So Lewis Stafford, I mean, he admitted to CP. He was initially charged with just the lowest level of child because they hadn't really gone into his phone yet. But the prosecutor's office agreed to not go into his phone and dump it if he would just plead to the lowest level of child and take a 30-year plea deal. So the fact that he agreed to that immediately really shows a lot about him. And whoever has to go, I guess nobody's going to have to go through his phone, but whoever was basically willing to do that, God bless you for that. But yeah, he's a monster. He was, I believe, 63 or 53 years old. He's going to have to do at least half of that time in Texas, so he'll be out in probably about 15 years, hopefully longer. And yeah, his catching on locals. And of course, if you want to support what we do, no team is traveling the most, catching the 6 like we are. We now have 50 states with an arrest, including Alaska. Obviously, we said 50 states. We caught a female pred in Alaska. We're still waiting on her to get arrested. She was one of the worst we've ever caught. And yeah, if you want to support what we do, join up on locals. No team is getting sentences like we are, getting admissions like we are, and putting in the work like we are. So it really helps us out. And if you like my t-shirt, go to predatorpoachers.com in the comment as well. But yeah, thank you all so much. And if you want to see more updates, they're always on locals, almost daily conviction and arrest updates. But we always do like to do these videos every couple months. So y'all take care, and see y'all.